Hi, I'm Chris Johnston from Work Visa Lawyers. Today I'm going to provide you with some basic introductions into working in Australia, including visas, salary, tax, working hours, holidays, how to get a job in Australia, and more. The information I'm providing is of a general nature and it's not legal advice. Get a visa with work rights. The first thing you need to do is to have a valid visa that allows you to work in Australia. Visitor visas in Australia generally do not have work rights. Many Australian visas do permit you to work, with some having restrictions on the number of hours to work. For example, a student visa currently only allows you to work for 48 hours per fortnight in most cases. How can I check my work rights? Through VEVO. You can do a visa entitlement verification online or VEVO check to see when your visa expires and what conditions your visa has in terms of work rights. I strongly recommend getting to know how to use VEVO. Tax file number, TFN. To work, you'll need to have a tax file number, TFN. The TFN is your personal number for dealing with the Australian Tax Office. If you don't have a tax file number, the tax office will withhold your tax at the top rate, which is approximately 50%. Full-time, part-time, and casual jobs. Three common types of work include full-time, part-time, and casual jobs. Here's the difference between them. Full-time employees work 38 hours per week with benefits like paid annual leave and sick leave. Part-time employers work regular hours each week, but less than full-time employees, with benefits on a pro rata basis. Casual employees usually work more irregular hours and don't get paid sick days or annual leave, and you can be terminated at any time as a casual. Awards. Many occupations have awards which dictate the minimum pay and conditions for that job. You can check for awards on the Fair Work website. You can also call Fair Work if you are confused by the many different awards and classifications, and I certainly do call Fair Work fairly regularly because it's a very complicated system. Minimum salary. There are some jobs which do not have a relevant award. They are covered by the national minimum wage, which is currently $23.23 per hour, starting from the 1st of July 2023. This amount has annual updates. Employees must be paid at least monthly, with most employers paying fortnightly or weekly. Superannuation. All employees are eligible for the super guarantee. It doesn't matter if the employee is full-time, part-time, or casual. Super is currently 11% and it must be paid by your employer. You are entitled to claim it between the age of 55 to 60, depending on the year you were born. It's meant to be money that you can access to help you in your older years. If you're a visa holder, you can claim your super if you're exiting Australia permanently, and there's a form you can sign to claim the super. Independent contractors. In some circumstances, independent contractors do not need to be paid super. But if an independent contractor is being paid mainly for providing labour, they may be entitled to super. I recommend that you check with Fair Work Australia as to whether you're entitled to super. Breaks. A lunch or dinner break in Australia can vary from 30 minutes to 1 hour depending on your agreement with your employer or relevant award. If you work on a tax file number, you should be entitled to having a break before completing 6 consecutive hours of work. Annual leave. Full-time and part-time employees get 4 weeks of annual leave based on their ordinary hours of work. Public holidays. Public holidays can vary depending on your state and territory, with potential benefits like extra pay or a pay on your day off on a public holiday. Paid sick leave. Full-time employees are entitled to 10 sick days per year. The leave is pro rata for part-time employees, and unused leave can be carried over. Casual employees don't get paid sick days. Probation periods. Probation periods typically last for 3 to 6 months and are determined by the employer when you start working and should be in your contract. Who can I ask when I've got questions in relation to working in Australia? You can contact Fair Work Australia. What if I've been underpaid or exploited on a visa? You can contact Fair Work in Australia. You can also report the employer to the Australian Border Force, and the employer may face fines, sponsorship bars, cancellation of sponsorship, and even criminal liability. Please see the links in the description below. If you haven't been paid properly or have been exploited, you may also want to contact an employment lawyer. You can contact the Law Society in your state or territory to get the details of employment lawyers. Do you need a degree or English tests to work in Australia? You don't need a degree or an English test to work in Australia. Many professions require only experience or technical qualifications. However, having more experience, qualifications and higher English proficiency can lead to better job opportunities in Australia. There are also some occupations, such as being a registered nurse, where there is a minimum English requirement for you to get registration. ABN. You can do work in Australia with an ABN, which is an Australian business number used in relation to business dealings. The ABN doesn't give you the benefits of a tax file number. Getting an ABN is free and you can make a running application through the ATO. You can apply for an ABN and it makes running your business easier. To determine whether you require an ABN or TFN, it all depends on the job you are doing. If you are operating a business, you require an ABN, but if you're an employee, then you'll need a tax file number. You can apply for both a tax file number and an ABN online, and you can have both simultaneously. There is also a business called ABN Australia which could help. Tax return. After the end of each year, the financial year ending on the 1st of July, you need to declare your tax return. The government reviews it to ensure you've paid the correct amount of tax. If you've overpaid tax, you might get a tax return. Everyone loves getting a tax return. How can you find work in Australia? We recommend searching your job listings on websites like Seek, Indeed and LinkedIn. You can also directly contact employers depending on your profession. Networking is also a fantastic way to get a job in Australia. I need help in applying for a work visa. We can help you apply for a visa which has work rights. We are one of Australia's largest immigration law firms with a team of professional immigration lawyers and registered migration agents who can help you. Thanks for watching and please subscribe and like so you get all the latest Australian immigration news.